And we're back. I finished the mining. As you may have seen in the video, I got some diamonds, 8 of them, plus the one I already had. Lots of coals, we got stuff to burn. I made a little building here for housing the generators that will power the metal former so that I can get empty cells, I believe, for the geothermal generators. And then after that, we will go Enderman slaying to get the Ender pearls we need. Then what? Then I go to the Nether to get some lava for... Oh, I guess I have to make the endothermic pump first, but anyway. So I was doing a little crafting, and I am now set to make the metal former and some, what do you call them? Copper cables so that I can power the metal former. And I think this is the, yeah, there we go, metal former. What was I going to do next? I think I was going to make some cables. So 6 should be good. And then turn those into cables, and I will make them insulated so I don't electrocute myself. I think I have some more rubber here too. So I believe this is the recipe for cables. Yep. Okay. Alright. Let's try this out. I think I'll just place one generator down because I think there's a chance when you pick up a generator with a wrench that you only get a piece of the original machine. So we'll just do one for now. Put it right here, I guess, and put a copper cable here, and get the metal former. And I guess I need fuel, and I also need the tin to make the empty cells. So let's go back to the geothermal generator recipe and empty cell. The extruding mode with a tin plate. Okay, so we need tin plates. And it is getting to be about nighttime, so I think what I'll do once that happens is go Enderman slaying. I got my sword here, I got some armor on. I should be ready to do that. Okay, so tin plates. There we go, I got some tin here. And I think, how many will I need? Let's just do 6 for now. There it is, the 4-chamber. Okay, and fuel. I need fuel. Alright, we need an extruding node. That's good. Alright. Here we go. Alright. So let's use our trusty mini-map to see if there's any Endermen. I think the beach is usually best for hunting Endermen just because there's more open space. They won't teleport on top of trees that you have to jump on and all that kind of stuff, so... Oh, fell a little too far. Oh, and we got our turtle digging away. Looks like it's making pretty good progress. I might have to refuel it soon. Hopefully it doesn't stop all the way at the bottom, but oh well. Anyway. Oh, well, you know what? I might need to empty the chest. Let's take a look at its levels. Oh, yeah, it's getting really full. Alright, I think what I'll do is put all this stuff in my backpack and fill my inventory up with the dirt and just toss it. And probably with the cobblestone, too. Alright, hopefully I don't get knocked into this pit by a mob. That would not be fun. I wonder if is there a way to, oh, there is, okay. I forgot about that. Cool. If you were wondering what I did, I held Shift and then, I think the default key is Q, but I have it set as P, to eject all the items of the same type in your inventory out of your inventory. So I don't see any Endermen on this beach, which is no good. Oh, there's one. But first I need to take out the stuff that will come after me. Enderman's making noise. Okay. Oh, there's a skelly. Oh god. I'm not going to have any stamina left for Enderman after this. Jeez, they're everywhere. That zombie just multiply? Oh, jeez. Alright. Oh, God. It just never ends. Alright. I just want some alone time with my Enderman. Alright. Let's get rid of this zombie. Oh, God, a baby zombie. Stay away. Okay. God, my sword's gonna break before I even get a chance to kill this enemy. Another one! Oh. Okay. You know what? Do or die. Let's just do this now. Oh god, and I need 2 of these. Didn't even get an ender pearl from that one. Okay. Moving along then, I guess. Oh, there's one in the forest. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Oh, is he in the quarry? Oh, I hope not. I think he might be up on the trees. I lost him. Where is he? Alright, I think I'm gonna cut out here, and I'll be back when I have ender pearls. So it finally happened. If you pay attention to detail, you might notice that I have 22 levels instead of about 40. Got a little carried away with fighting monsters. I did get my 2 ender pearls, but I did die, and a creeper exploded right where I died, so about the only stuff that I got back was my shovel, my sword, a couple of pieces of my armor, and then everything that I had put in the backpack, which was, thankfully, the generators, so I don't have to make those again. But, yeah, that was kind of disappointing, but oh well. Anyway, so, what's next? Right, endothermic pump. So, let's see. I don't remember what I needed for the endothermic pump. Oh, you know what? It requires an eye of ender, which needs blaze powder. So it looks like I'll have to kill a blaze, but before I do that, I do need to make some armor, and I think I have some extra bronze, so I'll just fill in the gaps with that. Let's see here. Chess piece. And then make some legs. There we go. Alright. And I should have a pickaxe, and maybe I'll get a regular pickaxe as well. Alright. You know what, just in case, I'm going to put some of this stuff away. Oops. Alright. Oh, I turned off that portal because the noise was annoying me, but I guess I have to turn it back on. Where is... there it is. Alright, let's go hunting blazes. Now, I'm not sure how long it will take me to find another fortress, so I think I will stop recording here, and when I start again, we will be on... oh. Ouch. I will be back when I find another fortress. Okay. Alright, I'm back from the Nether. I found another fortress, and I did record my little adventure in there, but I think it would make this video too long, and I actually died at one point, and it was kind of embarrassing, so I don't want to show it. But anyway, I think what I'll do is organize all this stuff that I got. Oh, and I got a wither skull, which, yay, woohoo! Some nether warts in case I need to do some alchemy or whatever. I got some saddles, which will be nice. If I find a horse, it will swiffen my travels along. And I got some more armor for it as well. I got a blaze rod for the blaze powder to make the endothermic pump. So yeah, things are looking pretty good in that regard. Not happy that I died. I spent quite a bit of time just recovering from that, but anyway, I think what I will do is go ahead and talk about my usual schizophrenia stuff, and while I do that, I will be working on crafting the endothermic pump, as well as the making the geothermal generators, and hopefully I can get everything set up by the end of the episode, and then I'll start working on the Industrialcraft 2 technology to make a molecular transformer, which I think might result in me having to do some more mining, but so we'll probably get to the molecular transformer stuff in the next episode. Alright, so here we go. So last episode I said I would talk about Paranoia, but I'm just not sure it would suitably fill this episode, and it's essentially a type of delusion, which I already talked about in episode 3. So yeah, paranoia is pretty much a form of delusion that draws frightening conclusions from everyday life. Some examples would be being convinced that a car is going to hit you if you're walking on the sidewalk of a street, or thinking that the jack dude from the gym is going to start a fight with you. While thoughts may cross an average person's mind, thoughts like that anyway, for someone like me, it absolutely consumes me, and at times will cause me to shut myself out from doing enjoyable things because the paranoia surrounding them just becomes too much. So what am I going to talk about today instead of paranoia? Well, I have, for the most part, covered most of the positive symptoms. Not all of them, but almost all of them. So soon I'll be talking about the negative symptoms, which for some people may require a level of understanding they may not be accustomed to. So today I would like to talk about the stigma around mental health and why, while I am a simple voice hidden behind a Minecraft avatar, if aren't more vocal people like me regarding these things, people will continue to be ignorant and perpetuate toxic attitudes and opinions towards people with mental illness. So I'll start with what I believe breaks the stigma around mental health issues. Mental illness, with a very simple explanation of what mental illness is. So what isn't? It's a medical condition. It's as simple as that. It's a medical condition. Like a broken bone or a tumor or a heart condition or an infection. So talking about schizophrenia is no different than talking about an ear infection, albeit a very complex ear infection. So one of the most avoided subjects around mental health is suicide. I openly talk about suicidal thoughts because, in my opinion, it's no different than talking about how your wrist hurts when you move it a certain way after you've sprained it. It's a symptom of the overlying condition. As soon as I mentioned suicide, you probably got uncomfortable. But there's really nothing to be uncomfortable with. It's certainly a tragic part of mental illness, just as death resulting from cancer is tragic. But just like death from cancer, if a schizophrenic person kills themselves, it's death from schizophrenia. It's not death from suicide. Although suicide was the mode of how the schizophrenic person died of schizophrenia. I'm not sure if pathologists rule suicides in schizophrenic people as suicide or as suicide resulting from schizophrenia. I'm assuming it's the latter because that's the simple truth of it. So think of it this way. Say there's a crazy zombie virus that spreads amongst people with a certain genetic makeup. Let's say this virus drives a person crazy and eventually makes them do dangerous things like walk in traffic or jump off bridges or bash their heads into a wall. That's essentially how mental illness behaves. It drives you crazy and makes you do things that are not really conducive to your self-preservation. And actually, the virus analogy may not be far off, as I've read articles that indicate many mental illnesses are actually viruses attached to our DNA, which is why it was assumed that certain mental illnesses were a genetic disorder. I'll leave a link in the description to that article. It was written in 2010, and the studies around it were done prior to that. But I really hope more research comes of, or actually more results come from that research. But for now, anyway, I'll have a link to that article in the description. But I'd actually like to take a minute to talk about the two words mental and health put together. I personally hope for a day where we no longer prefix health issues with the brain with the word mental. Specifying brain disorders as a mental health issue almost seems like it gives the impression that the person has a level of mental control over what is happening to them, which is simply not the case. For example, a schizophrenic person with suicidal thoughts but doesn't kill themselves compared to a schizophrenic person with suicidal thoughts that has killed themselves. The one that didn't kill themselves isn't any stronger willed than the person who did kill themselves. They simply have been provided circumstances or differing in the severity of their symptoms, which resulted in a state that didn't lead to suicide. As such, if we really must use a prefix to define health issues as schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and so on, I think the word brain should be used. So, brain health. So I personally think a lot of mental health stigma could be broken by simply calling it brain health. Maybe that isn't the proper terminology. So maybe someone in the medical profession could come up with something better, but that's just my opinion of it. So I guess if there's anything I want you to walk away with from this video is that even if you're talking to someone with mental illness who may be embarrassed to talk about it even themselves, just imagine yourself talking about it like it's a heart condition. Have empathy, but it is by no means something to be embarrassed about. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. The clip I have here going rolls on for quite a while, but sort of what I learned as I was getting the endothermic pump going and all that kind of stuff was that I need to make ender tanks so that I can efficiently transport the lava from the nether to the overworld. And to do that, I'll need blaze rods, so I'll have to go blaze hunting again. And then I also need to make a magmatic dynamo to power the endothermic pump. So I'm sort of doing a little crash course on thermal expansion. So what I found was I need an aqueous accumulator to get water for a steam dynamo, which will power a pulverizer, which will turn iron ore and ferrous ore into iron dust and ferrous dust, which I can put in a furnace for in-bar. And with the in-bar, I'll be able to make a magmatic dynamo that will power the endothermic pump. So that's what I will work on before the next video, which is an ender tank and magmatic dynamo. So yeah, I think that pretty much concludes this episode. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about in the next episode. I will probably I think I'll probably finish off the rest of the positive symptoms. And then after that, I'll start talking about some of the negative symptoms, which are a little bit harder to notice in a schizophrenic person, but they can be just as debilitating as having really strong hallucinations or delusions. So yeah, I hope you liked this episode. I hope you are enjoying the other episodes. I hope that people get something out of this, but whether it be enjoyment or being informed or whatever. But and like I always say, I'm not really sure if people are liking what I'm doing. So if you did like it, please do leave a like or even subscribe, and I will keep working on these videos, and maybe things will get even more interesting as we go on. But yeah, or if you have any questions, leave a comment, and if I don't answer it in later videos, just through my general description of symptoms and whatnot, I'll see if I can answer your question specifically, and I'll do it in a video. So even if I don't reply to your comment in the comment section, you may see my reply in an upcoming video. So anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later.